Here's some of what's heading your way tonight on your News at 9.
The Joplin Job Center is gearing up for what they expect to be a surge in job seekers after pandemic unemployment assistance ends in June. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
Plus, we are looking at the possible area impact as Missouri lawmakers pass an increase to the state's gasoline tax. And the governor of Oklahoma signs the Oklahoma Cocktails to Go Act, allowing Sooners to keep taking their favorite adult beverages home as long as they are sealed. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heady has your weather. Sports Director Jacob Leonard's on sports. I'm Mike Mahoney, and this is your KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in this evening. Some people expect to see a surge in job seekers once pandemic-related unemployment benefits end in Missouri in June. KOAM's Zach Dodge talked to a Missouri Job Center and a local Chamber of Commerce to see what they're doing to prepare for a potential surge.
I've been doing workforce for 10, 12 years, and I've not ever seen it like this.
More than 3,000 jobs are open in the Joplin metro area, according to the Missouri Office of Workforce Development. More than 200,000 are open in the state as a whole.
To help address this labor shortage, I have directed the Missouri Department of Labor to end participation in all federal pandemic-related unemployment benefits.
So now the Job Center's gearing up for an expected surge in job seekers, bringing staff back into the center and opening the doors fully for the first time in 14 months.
A little nervous, like I said, we are short-staffed, and some of the staff members are just coming back into the center on Monday, and so getting acclimated and then having the influx of customers. I just wanted us to be able to serve those individuals as well as we can.
And at the Carthage Chamber, they're doing something for the first time.
We are looking at a business expo and job fair in June.
It's the first time they've held a job fair in conjunction with the expo, but Chamber President Mark Elliff says the number of jobs available demanded it. There's more than 200 in Carthage alone.
The job market's going to come back strong. Our state unemployment right now is 4.2%. It's down to where it was prior. And I think it will continue to be that way. So I think the outlook is good.
Right now, the main thing they recommend job seekers do is to not wait.
Get ahead of the process, because once that unemployment does end, the market will be flooded with job seekers.
In Jasper County, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
The Job Center in Joplin will be back to normal operations on Monday. Since they are still short-staffed, they are asking job seekers to continue making appointments. All right, let's talk to Doug Heady. Let's talk first weather. Doug.
Not too bad for us today. We had the clouds during the morning hours, but at least temperatures a little bit warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, as we did get to 64, but we should be topping out at 76 degrees, so still well shy of that mark. Pretty much clear skies out there. There's not a whole bunch going on here in the Central Plains. Temperatures are cooling down. We're sitting into the mid-50s, and we're going to cool down as we go through the overnight hours tonight, back down into lower 40s, but a little bit warmer for us tomorrow afternoon, which is good news. Now, we are going to see an increase in thunderstorm chances over the next several days. So, of course, Mike, we're going to be chatting about that here in a bit.
All right, we will tune back in just a few minutes. Missouri drivers could soon see a tax increase on gas prices meant to improve state roads and bridges. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with local drivers and an organization that could be negatively impacted by the increase.
Missouri's gas prices are among the nation's cheapest. But under a bill passed by the state's legislature, prices could increase for the first time in decades. If signed by Governor Mike Parson, the proposal would raise the state's 17-cent gas tax by 2.5 cents per year until it hits 29.5 cents per gallon in 2025. The money from this increased gas tax would go towards state road and bridge repairs. Some Missouri residents aren't happy with the idea.
I don't like it just because it makes me have to pay more money, just so that way they can fix the roads, which is what they should be doing anyway.
The tax increase could impact nonprofits that rely on driving to complete their services. For the Area Agency on Aging in Joplin, it could affect their Meals on Wheels program.
As a nonprofit, of course it would affect us. We drive thousands of miles every year in company trucks delivering Meals on Wheels.
The bill includes an option for a yearly rebate of tax money spent on fuel, but keeping that money locked up for up to a year can create budgeting challenges.
From a budget standpoint, of course, we would have to make adjustments to incur that increase on a month-to-month basis until we got reimbursed through the refund option. And for us, that is doable, although tying up funds, which could be better spent providing meals and other services, is always tough.
And by relying on volunteers, the increased prices could lead them to face a volunteer shortage.
My concern is that as we move forward, I know at the start it's only 2.5 cents, but our organization relies heavily on volunteer drivers. And we do not have the means to compensate our volunteers for the miles they drive delivering meals.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
If Governor Parson signs the bill into law, the tax will go into effect beginning October 1st of 2021. The governor of Oklahoma has signed a bill expanding early in-person voting by 1 day during general elections. Governor Kevin Stitt signed the bill last night, which allows Oklahomans to vote on the Wednesday before a general election. The state currently has 2.5 days of early voting, which happens on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before the general election. Oklahoma bar patrons will be permitted to take their drinks to go for at least another year. Today, Governor Stitt signed into law the Oklahoma Cocktails to Go Act of 2021, and it goes into effect immediately. The law allows bars and restaurants to sell cocktails, mixed drinks, or single-serve wine in sealed containers to go. The Cocktails to Go Act is set to be repealed a year from now. The Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce hosted a job fair today to get hiring jump-started in the city of Pittsburgh. The job fair was at Pittsburgh's Memorial Auditorium, and the event was free. Local employers were there to discuss job opportunities and available positions.
During COVID, employees, sometimes they weren't looking to get a job, and we definitely need more people on staff, especially in our production and warehouse, which is always going to be a need, but it's been particularly high this year.
And the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas was also at the job fair, offering free COVID-19 vaccinations to anyone who wanted one. It's now time for us to honor one of our many four-state heroes. And tonight, we recognize Paul Sturm of Pleasanton, Kansas. Sturm served as a private in the U.S. Army, and he fought in World War I. Thank you, sir, for your service, your courage, and for fighting for freedom. For more information on any of our four-state heroes, or to nominate your own, just log on to KOAMnewsnow.com. Chief Meteorologist Doug HEADY is back with a complete look at your four-state forecast. And later in the show, Crowder Baseball takes aim at yet another regional championship under head coach Travis LALLEMAND. We'll have that story and more in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a better day for us today. We got sunshine by the afternoon hours, and temperatures finally above 60. We were only in the 50s on Monday and Tuesday, but if we look at May so far, and it really hasn't, we've had some really good days, but we've had some really chilly days. Both weekends have been pretty good. Temps into the upper 70s and then 83 last Saturday, but the weeks have been kind of chilly for May, but we are going to start to warm things back up just a bit as we go through the next few days. Great time lapse. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Great shot of the sun setting. Of course, we had cloudy skies during the morning, and then those clouds broke up, and then it looked pretty good during the afternoon hours. Allergies also kind of high. On a scale of 1 to 10, today is a 7, tomorrow is an 8. So if you are an allergy sufferer, you're going to be suffering at least over the next couple days. Temps kind of chilly. Most of us are kind of in the low to mid 50s. We're going to drop back into lower 40s later on tonight. We do have pretty much clear skies. We have a few remaining clouds on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, but in general, most of the Central Plains are looking pretty good. All right, let's shoot out toward the west. Doesn't look like much is going on, but we do have a storm system which is starting to organize off the coast of California. This is really just going to send waves at us, about one every day for the next week, and give us plenty of chances for thunderstorms over the next week. Now, we're going to be dry for the next couple days, and then things will start to ramp up. All right, lower 40s tonight. If you're getting up early, chilly. 43 to start, but a quick warm up through the 40s, 50s, lower 60s by noon. And then I think most of us are going to top out right around 67, so a few notches warmer than what we did see today. So not a bad day across the entire 4-state area. Tomorrow night, thunderstorms get going across Nebraska. They dive in by Friday morning. A lot of these aren't going to hold together, but we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here on Friday morning. These will push east during the afternoon. There is a slight chance some additional ones could pop up in the afternoon, but then we'll get another batch Friday night into Saturday morning. These could be a little bit stronger. Still not thinking any of these are severe. These push through and then more develop Saturday afternoon. These may be a little bit stronger. So these could be on the low grade severe level, so the lower end of severe, mainly just strong storms. These are going to continue to work through, and then we just get batch after batch. A little higher chance we could get some severe thunderstorms by Sunday and then into Monday. And then it stays decently high as we go into Tuesday and then Wednesday, and then our chances will start to decrease a little bit late next week. But I still think we're going to have a chance for severe weather each and every day. So as we look at the calendar, here's this Saturday. So I'm going with a low threat. We may have to up the threat a little bit early next week, and then it stays low all the way into the following weekend and ups again right around the anniversary, right after the anniversary. But you can really see the next two, all the way through Memorial Day. We have a lot of chances for severe weather. All right, 67 tomorrow, 72 Friday, 75 Saturday. At least temperatures look good, just a lot of rain.
All right, you know, hey, nothing wrong with a little rain. I thought it was April showers, but I'll take some May showers.
Well, usually it's April showers, May thunderstorms, and that's what we're going to get.
That is true. Thanks so much, Doug. An independent production will hit the stage at Pittsburg State's Bicknell Center for the Arts for the first time in more than a year. Midwest Regional Ballet is performing Oz starting tomorrow. Organizers say the show features funky punk rock style with pop covers of the classic movie's music.
Oh my gosh, like a breath of fresh air. I can't even explain how much I've been waiting for this and the anticipation for the show to finally come.
Again, the show will be at PSU's Bicknell Family Center for the Arts. Tomorrow's show begins at 7:30 p.m. Fridays is also at 7:30 and Saturdays is at 2:30. Check it out. Still to come, President Biden hosts a White House meeting today that is the first of its kind for this administration.
President Biden hosts a meeting at the White House with the top 4 congressional leaders, his first since taking office. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on what they talked about coming up.
Thursday. Welcome back to your News at 9. For the first time since taking office, President Biden met with all 4 congressional leaders in the Oval Office. The purpose of the meeting was to see if Democrats and Republicans could identify potential areas of compromise and common ground. Fox News' Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest.
President Biden sat down for the first time at the White House with the Big Four. During the meeting with top congressional leaders, they discussed how to reach a deal on the infrastructure-focused American Jobs Plan.
How do you expect to come to a compromise?
Just snap my fingers, we'll have it.
The more than hour-and-a-half long meeting ended with optimism. They'll be able to pass something bipartisan, although it won't be easy.
We'll see, but it was positive. It took us a few steps forward.
First, they need to agree on what infrastructure means.
That's not home health. That's road, bridges, highways, airports, broadband. Those are the places we could find common ground and work together.
Speaker Pelosi said Republicans don't want to include electric cars in the definition, among other items. But President Biden wants green energy initiatives. Another sticking point is how to pay for the $2.3 trillion plan. Republicans said they do not want to pass anything over $800 billion. Leader McConnell and McCarthy said their red line is tax increases.
This discussion about the way forward on infrastructure will not include revisiting the 2017 tax bill.
Speaker Pelosi said she will bring the American Jobs Plan to the House floor before the July 4th break.
Big, bold, as soon as we can, as bipartisan as possible.
She hosted Democratic mayors at the Capitol who say their cities need help.
How about we all agree that infrastructure itself is not partisan. It is not political. It is a basic and core service that we need to make sure that we address.
On Thursday, President Biden is planning to meet with a small group of Republican senators at the White House to continue to see where they have common ground on infrastructure. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
House Republicans say they are looking ahead and focused on winning back the majority in next year's midterm elections after voting Representative Liz Cheney from her leadership role this morning. Fox News' Madeline Rivera is in Washington with that story.
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office.
Republicans say it's those types of comments that led to the removal of House Republican Conference Chair Liz Cheney from her leadership role Wednesday morning. The viewpoints, they say, were seen largely out of step with where the party stands.
They felt like Liz Cheney was distracted by Trump derangement syndrome. She was so transfixed on taking every reporter question about her belief that Trump incited a riot.
Many of them say former President Trump isn't what's threatening conservatism, pointing instead to President Biden and his policies. They're pushing a message of unity in order to take back the House in next year's midterm elections.
I want to talk more about, what we're fighting against rather on the outside rather than inside fighting within our party.
Democrats, meanwhile, say the Republican Party is struggling with an identity crisis.
Republicans are seeking to perpetuate and act upon the big lie that the election was stolen, simply to placate the most dishonest president in American history.
New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has launched her bid for Cheney's former role, saying in a letter to fellow Republicans, "Our members believe that the stakes are far too high for us to be divided." A candidates forum for the open conference chair position is expected to be held on Thursday. In Washington, Matt Rivera, Fox News.
Still to come, COVID-19 vaccination efforts in the U.S. enter a brand new chapter.
The vaccination effort is about to gain some serious speed. I'm HASNIE in New York. I'll show you how some states are getting ready to vaccinate our young Americans.
Our country has hit another important milestone in the effort to end the pandemic. Today, an advisory panel to the CDC recommended expanding the use of Pfizer's vaccine to children as young as 12, clearing the way for millions of additional shots to be administered across the country. Fox News' HASNIE has more on how states are getting ready to roll out the vaccine to teens.
A CDC panel voted Wednesday to recommend Pfizer's vaccine for kids 12 to 15 years old.
Benefits far outweigh the risks. I think this will provide protection for 12 to 15-year-olds. It'll decrease transmission within their families.
This just 2 days after the FDA gave the green light, saying the shot is safe and effective for that age group. States and cities are already laying out their plans to administer the vaccine to young teens, with some even offering incentives such as gift cards and free tickets to various venues.
Look at what we're showing you every day about how this city is coming back. But it's not just about the city as a whole, it's about your own life. Vaccination protects you, protects your family.
The move could have a drastic impact on how camps operate this summer and how schools reopen in the fall. It's also seen as a crucial step towards driving down infections and getting the country back to normal. Some counties have already started vaccinating adolescents, saying the FDA's stamp of approval was enough to go forward.
There's been so much data that it's been perfectly safe for all the other millions of people who have gotten it. We felt very confident.
Meanwhile, the nation's death rate has reached its lowest level in 10 months, averaging about 600 per day. More than half of states are hovering around single-digit deaths per day, and some are even hitting zero on some days. At this rate, the CDC expects both COVID-19 cases and deaths to fall sharply by the end of July. In New York, HASNIE, Fox News.
When we return, we have got an update on this weekend's Colonial Pipeline hack and our country's skyrocketing fuel prices.
Gas prices at their highest level in 7 years. I'm Jonathan SERRIE in Sandy Springs, Georgia. I'll have details coming up.
We're here to Gas prices are at their highest level in 7 years as the Colonial Pipeline remains largely shut down. The Southeast has been hit hardest, with hundreds of gas stations reporting fuel shortages stemming from panic buying. Fox News' Jonathan SERRIE has more.
The national average for a gallon of gas topped $3 on Wednesday for the first time since 2014. Much of the nation's largest fuel pipeline remains shut down, and consumers are heading to the pump amid fears of a fuel shortage. According to Gas Buddy, demand for gas jumped by 40% in Virginia, the Carolinas, and Georgia.
This is really a nationwide issue in some ways, affecting states from Texas up into the Northeast. We're continuing to buckle down and follow things, but it's tough right now for sure.
In the Southeast, hundreds of stations reported running out of fuel on Tuesday. Federal officials are looking for new ways to ease the burden on states. The Transportation Department announced it's waiving some restrictions on transporting fuel by truck.
10 states can use existing federal major disaster declarations that are currently in place to allow those states to issue permits that allow drivers to temporarily carry additional gasoline that would ordinarily exceed existing weight limits on federal highways in their state.
The Colonial Pipeline is 5,500 miles long and supplies 45% of the fuel consumed on the East Coast. It shut down after a cyber attack last Friday, raising concerns about possible threats to the nation's infrastructure.
We should be investing in what we know has been a problem in the past. Investing our infrastructure dollars into cybersecurity is critical importance.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission reminds people to store gas in an approved container. In Atlanta, Jonathan Serrie, Fox News.
While officials warn against panic buying gasoline, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission also has a warning for people not to put it in plastic bags. The agency says use only containers approved for fuel and is urging consumers to follow gas canister instructions for storing and transporting gasoline. Spilling gas all over your vehicle could create a dangerous problem, a lot worse than expensive fuel. Well, don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more news headed your way, as well as another look at your weather with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heady and your KOAM Sports Report with Sports Director Jacob Leonard. That's all headed your way right here on your KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Israel's missile defense system is working overtime to stop near constant attacks from the Gaza Strip. I'm Trey Yingst in the city of Ashkelon. I've got the details coming up.
Indigo Sky Casino.
Parsons, Kansas police arrest a Parsons man accused of punching and then shooting at a woman at a gas station. It happened around 10 last night. Police say the suspect got into an argument with the victim at the Pete's on Main Street in Parsons. That argument spilled outside and then turned violent when police say the suspect punched at the victim, then shot at her multiple times. Fortunately, the woman was not hit by any of the shots. The suspect walked away from the scene and was arrested later on North Central. Authorities have not yet filed formal charges. Hamas and Israel are still hitting each other with rocket attacks and airstrikes as the worst fighting in the region since 2014 continues to escalate. Fox News' Trey Yingst has more from the Israel-Gaza border.
All of Israel's under attack. It's a very scary situation to be in.
48 hours of back and forth fighting between Israel and Hamas, and there's still no end in sight. It started Monday with major clashes at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Hamas then started shooting rockets into southern Israel and then towards Tel Aviv, more than 1,000 over the past 2 days. Israel quickly responding with a series of airstrikes on militants in the Gaza Strip. The military says it's targeting senior Hamas leadership, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is predicting the fighting will escalate in the coming days.
We eliminated senior commanders. This is just the beginning. We will strike them with hits they did not dream of.
But civilians in the Gaza Strip tell a different story. They say airstrikes have been indiscriminate, hitting militants as well as non-combatants. And with dozens of Palestinians killed, some are accusing the Israeli government of war crimes.
This is a crime. They were civilians. They didn't hit a militant nor an official. We are civilians sleeping in our homes.
World leaders are calling on both sides to de-escalate, but neither are backing down, despite the increasing death toll. The White House reiterating its support for Israel, while also hoping cooler heads will prevail.
We are very focused on this. The United States remains committed to a two-state solution. This violence takes us further away from that goal.
The U.S. is sending a Mideast envoy to meet with both sides immediately about a possible ceasefire. In Israel, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
The U.S. government will no longer blacklist Chinese smartphone maker Xiaomi. The Department of Defense reached a deal with the world's third largest smartphone manufacturer. The ban prevented Americans from investing in the company. The Defense Department put the ban into place days before President Biden took office, claiming the company was linked to the Chinese military. A federal judge previously ordered the ban temporarily lifted because a judge said the government lacked substantial evidence proving China's military is involved with Xiaomi. Right after the break, Chief Meteorologist Doug HEADY has another look at your weather. And later in the show, Americans are getting back to traveling.
Travel experts say more Americans taking to the roads and skies like never before. And get this, the numbers may be on the rise. I'm Kevin Cork in Washington with more on what promises to be quite a travel weekend for the Memorial Day holiday. That's coming up.
Well, at least it warmed up a little bit for us today. Still chilly for this time of the year, but we got out of the 50s. We got into the 60s, which is always nice to see. We've had a couple good weekends so far in May, but during the week, temperatures were below average last week, have been below average this week. We're going to be below average once again for us tomorrow, but we're at least going to get closer to that mark as we go through the next few days. A lot of clouds during the morning hours. Then we break out, see sunshine for the afternoon. Pretty good, actually. A nice shot of the sun setting. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Allergies have been high, though, on a scale of 1 to 10. Today's a 7. Tomorrow creeps up a little bit more, so an 8 out of 10. Temperatures, they're kind of chilly, low to mid 50s. I think most of us are going to drop back into lower 40s later on tonight, but any clouds that we had earlier today, these are pretty much gone. We have a few scattered clouds on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. Besides that, it's pretty calm across the entire Central Plains. Let's go out toward the west. Not a lot going on, but we do have some waves which are building right along the coast, the west coast, and it's going to shoot little chunks of energy at us as we go through the next several days, and then these waves kind of intensify a bit as we go into next week. All right, let's start with tonight. Kind of chilly, mostly clear skies. We'll drop back into lower 40s. So cold start if you are getting up early. We're going to go through the 40s, 50s, lower 60s by noon, so not bad. Upper 60s for highs, a little bit warmer than what we did see today. Tomorrow's going to be fine. It's going to be dry. As we go into tomorrow night, thunderstorms build in Nebraska. They head toward us Friday morning. These are really going to kind of fall apart, but we are going to get scattered thunderstorms Friday morning. These will push east. Most of Friday afternoon looks okay. Then we do it again. Another big batch of showers and thunderstorms come in Friday night into Saturday morning. Most likely nothing severe up to this point. But Saturday afternoon we'll get scattered thunderstorms, and some of those could be low-grade severe. So we need to watch that. Then as we go into Saturday night, showers, thunderstorms. We'll do it again Sunday afternoon. And then into Sunday night, let's go into Monday, chances for thunderstorms. Severe threat increases Monday into Tuesday as we get showers and thunderstorms. And then we still have chances sticking around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. So it gets pretty active. So we're right here, no severe weather, low threat Saturday. Low threat Sunday. It may go up a little bit early next week, so if we need to, we'll up it to a moderate or even a high threat. But you can see the chances really the next 3 weeks very active across the 4-state area. 67 tomorrow, 72 Friday, 75 Saturday. We hold into the mid to upper 70s to near 80, but we do have plenty of chances for rain.
Well, them's the breaks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what you get around here.
We can handle it here in the 4-state area. All right, coming up in sports, the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons hit the field for an interstate matchup with Nevada. Plus, a Joplin senior signs to run track and field and cross country at Mizzou. Sports director Jacob Leonard has that and more right after the break.
At Gene.
The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons have won 5 of their last 6 games to get to 13-6 overall this season. Now today, Pittsburgh finishes up the regular season with an interstate matchup against Nevada. The Tigers are 18-5. Cooper Hayden, good night on the mound, strikeout there. At that point, Pittsburgh out to a 4-1 lead. Now first and third here for Jackson Turnbull. Drives it all the way to the wall in left center. That scores another. It's now 5-1. Tigers, though, not going down quietly. In the 7th, Lane Wilson to left scores Cade Beshore. Nevada gets 2 in the 7th, but Hayden gets a strikeout to end it. Complete game for Cooper Hayden with 5 strikeouts. Pittsburgh wins at 5-3 to go 3-0 this season against Missouri opponents.
Obviously, you want to go compete against those guys. They're all really good baseball teams that you know are going to be well coached, and their guys play a lot of baseball. And you know, for whatever reason, it does seem to amp things up a little bit more. I suppose just because it's you know, it's kind of an area thing. But we like to go over and play the Missouri teams because we know that they're going to be good baseball clubs that are coached well. We're going to have to come out and compete and play well to get a win.
We have a pair of local student athletes signing today to continue their careers in college. First up at Joplin High School, Micah Bruggeman signs to keep running track and cross country at the next level. Bruggeman is going Division I, signing today to run at Mizzou. He's not bad. And by not bad, I mean he has the best mile time in school history at 4 minutes 18 seconds. So Mizzou's getting a good one.
I watched guys above me go to places they always wanted to go, and now it's my turn, and I got teammates that are in my position where I was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, getting to look up to me how I looked up to guys above me. The SEC is really talented, especially this year. It's been loaded, so get to go compete and train with some of the best guys.
Moving to the other side of the state line, Frontenac's Raven Warren signs today to continue her softball career in college. She's staying in Southeast Kansas, signing today to play for Allen Community College, where she will play on the infield for the Red Devils.
It means so much to me. I've been dreaming of this since I was 10, and I've worked really hard, and I've tried to play as much ball as I can just to get here. I liked the coaches, and they had some really good philosophies that really stuck out to me, and I thought that it would be a really good fit for me.
Well, this week is a big week for the 6th-ranked Crowder College Rough Riders. Crowder hits the field tomorrow in Joplin, aiming for another Region 16 championship under head coach Travis Lallemand. Sports reporter Danny Terzer has the story.
Crowder's baseball program has experienced a winning history under the leadership of head coach Travis Lallemand.
Their job is to uphold the standards of the program, and the standard is to be at a high competitive rate in May, and I think that's more of a environment around our program as much as anything.
This team has an opportunity to uphold that standard this weekend as they compete for their 6th regional title since 2005.
It's pretty cool to just wear the name Rough Rider across your chest because, I mean, that's something of itself, to come out here and be able to represent the wonderful program that's been set before us and then to keep representing this wonderful program.
Crowder has been working towards postseason success since day one.
We're not preparing for the tournament today. We've started preparing way back in August.
The Rough Riders are keeping their postseason preparation simple.
We don't try to change our mindset, change anything from postseason to regular season. We just continue to show up and play the game that we've been playing.
In my opinion, there's not a whole lot of decisions to be made in the postseason. You just simply look back at your 52-game schedule and see what worked and kind of repeat those things.
They've built a 46-6 record over 52 games.
We've got some fear bats in the lineup, as we call them. Guys that can put up some damaged swings, you know, and you know, it results in some big innings for us at times.
Clutch hitting is another key.
Winning twos is a big thing, and winning championships. If you can win with 2 outs, you can win with 2 strikes, it increases your chances a lot.
The strategy for game 53 won't be much different.
We have a saying around here, and it's just be who we are, and that's all we can ask for out of our players. And if we can do that, it increases our chances for success.
In Joplin, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
The Crowder's regional tournament opener against Metropolitan will be tomorrow afternoon at 4 at Joe Becker Stadium in Joplin. We're back with more news after this.
Travel and tourism are up. Fox News' Kevin Cork has more on the projected numbers for Memorial Day weekend and what's helping more Americans feel comfortable about seeking adventure.
With more places to go, more Americans are now on the move, as vaccinations are helping to fuel domestic travel, and experts say it's only expected to get busier. AAA now predicting a massive increase in travel over this upcoming Memorial Day weekend. Company officials estimate roughly 37 million people will venture at least 50 miles from home during the holiday. That's a 60% increase from 2020.
We're heading to Los Alamos area to do some wine tasting and have a lot of fun.
And highways aren't the only places seeing more traffic, as airports are buzzing with new life. TSA announcing more than 1.7 million folks took to the skies Sunday, a new pandemic flying record.
Most everybody I know has had their vaccinations, and I just felt like it's time to get out of the house a little bit and go somewhere.
Meanwhile, tourism is also gaining traction, with cities like New York boasting a rise in out-of-state visitors.
There's a lot of optimism and momentum building. The ship is certainly turning, and we feel tourism gradually starting to come back.
The reopening of Broadway in the fall, larger crowds approved for sporting venues, and looser restrictions for restaurants and museums are all boosting travel to the Big Apple.
On Broadway.
AAA is also predicting roughly 2.5 million Americans could take to the skies over the Memorial Day weekend, creating the possibility of yet another flying record, and that is certainly good news. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
A bridge linking Arkansas and Tennessee has been temporarily closed. The decision comes after a crack was found in part of the I-40 Hernando de Soto Bridge. Crews are now working to assess the damage and to determine if it can be repaired. Right now, there is no word on how long the bridge will remain closed. Approximately 50,000 vehicles drive over that bridge each day, and the Tennessee Department of Transportation is responsible for repairs and maintenance. The Arkansas Department of Transportation is responsible for inspections, which happen every 2 years. All right, we are not done yet here on your KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And when we return, our neighbors over in Wichita get a scare after their doorbell camera catches a visitor who seems to be out of his element. That story and more are next. Welcome back to your News at 9, and check out this caught on camera moment from Wichita, Kansas. A mountain lion is seen going for a stroll past somebody's house. The homeowners caught this four-legged intruder on their doorbell camera earlier in the week, and wildlife officials say it is the first confirmed cougar sighting in Wichita. They are hoping the mountain lion made its way along the river and won't be coming back. And finally, Doug, check it out. I need your help for this story. How would you react to this? In Minneapolis, Fox 9 KMPS meteorologist Jennifer McDermott found herself inside a graphical glitch. She was giving her forecast Tuesday night when her on-screen graphics caused her to multiply on the screen in what she called a funhouse-like situation. So, Doug, what would you do if you had a clone army following you when you were trying to do your forecast?
Well, first off, we don't need any clones of me. But I know Jennifer. I think she handled it really good. She had fun with it, and I saw it online earlier, and it's never happened to me. Let's hope it doesn't.
Hey, whenever you go viral and people are laughing with you instead of at you, I'd say that's a good thing. So,
I agree.
Jennifer says it took all of her willpower to finish her job through the laughter. And well, thanks so much for spending some of your Wednesday with us. We'll leave you with this video. It's Doug's at Pittsburgh's Lakeside Park. I'm glad my dog Peanut's there. He would be disturbing them. We'll see you tomorrow for more KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Have a great night, and of course, stay safe out there.